Night falls without warning, like the world pulled its own plug. Streets are empty, buildings blacked out, wind crawling through broken windows as if it's looking for bodies. Silence isn't peace anymore, it's abandonment. When someone bleeds now, there are no sirens, no doctors, no second chances. There's only the wet sound of blood hitting the ground and the biological clock screaming inside the skull. The body switches to emergency mode while the mind pretends this is still a normal day. It isn't. This is a brutal testing ground where ignorance charges interest. You either learn fast or you stop learning forever. Gunshot and stab wounds aren't movie scenes. They don't wait for courage. A bullet tears through tissue, creating invisible corridors of destruction, while a blade opens direct access to hemorrhage and infection. The problem isn't just the hole, it's the chaos underneath. Blood vessels rupture, muscles collapse, circulation panics. Most people don't die from the initial impact. They die from the sequence of stupid decisions that follow. Wrong pressure, wrong movement, wrong timing. The human body is resilient, but it despises amateurs during critical moments. The first phase has no heroic name, just one function: stop the leak. Direct pressure isn't advice, it's physics. Blood obeys force and gravity, not hope. Clean fabric, constant force, no curiosity-driven peaking. Every uncontrolled second turns the floor red and the brain oxygen-starved. Fake tourniquets don't save lives, they speed up failure. Strength and calm have to coexist here, even while panic is screaming in your head. Then comes the temptation to explore the wound, to play surgeon in a collapsed world. Bad idea. Excessive manipulation expands damage and invites bacteria to a feast. The wound doesn't need bravery, it needs restraint. Immobilizing the body reduces internal bleeding and prevents torn muscles from continuing the destruction. A still body tries to survive, a moving one accelerates its own shutdown. The science is cruelly simple. Blood loss reduces circulation volume, the heart races, pressure drops, and the brain starts rationing oxygen. Hypothermia arrives fast when the body is soaked in blood, even without cold air. Shock isn't drama, it's biological math. Less oxygen, less energy, less time. Every bad decision pushes the system deeper into collapse. The environment offers no mercy. Dust, rust, and grime invade the wound like opportunistic invaders. Infection doesn't explode immediately, it starts quietly, planting fever and failure days later. Ignoring this is signing a delayed death contract. Surviving the night doesn't guarantee surviving the week. The world may be over, but bacteria are still working overtime. When bleeding finally slows, relief is an illusion. It's a fragile ceasefire. The body is exhausted, pain intensifies, and danger changes shape. Now it's not the blood jet that kills you, it's what you do next. In the end of the world, the first mistake drops you. The second one buries you. Mourning doesn't bring hope, it just reveals the damage in better light. Clothing fused to the wound becomes hostile second skin. Every movement pulls on tissue still trying to reconnect. The body is fighting an internal war, and every careless action is sabotage. This is where survivors separate from delayed casualties. Treating isn't healing, it's slowing deterioration. The world offers no comfort, only less bad choices. Cleaning now is damage control, not sterile perfection. Clean water is liquid gold. Remove visible debris without scrubbing like you're sanding metal. The more aggressive you are, the more living cells you kill. Improvised antiseptics work up to a point. Excess burns healthy tissue. The wound needs limited exposure, not chemical drowning. Firm, dry bandaging becomes a shield against invisible chaos. Pain will try to convince you to ignore everything. Improvised painkillers mask critical signals. Intense pain can indicate inflammation, hidden bleeding, or infection starting. Silencing it blindly is like turning off a fire alarm while the house burns. The body speaks through pain because it's the last language available when systems fail. Listening is survival. Ignoring is acceleration toward the end. Science doesn't stop just because hospitals did. Inflammation is a response, not an enemy, but uncontrolled inflammation kills healthy tissue. Swelling compresses vessels, reduces circulation, and turns living areas into dead zones. Elevation, when possible, helps drainage. Simple, effective, and ignored by those who think survival is brute force. Biology doesn't respect ego. The invisible threat grows hourly. Infection starts quietly, then heats, swells, and rots everything from the inside. Fever isn't a detail, it's an invasion signal. Without antibiotics, the body fights alone and it doesn't always win. Reducing bacterial load is the only advantage left. Consistent cleaning, isolation, and rest are weapons as valuable as any blade or firearm. Meanwhile, the mind begins to fail. Sleep deprivation, constant pain, and fear corrode judgment. People die not from weakness, but from cognitive exhaustion. Rest becomes a survival strategy, not a luxury. A tired brain kills faster than the original wound. Survival demands discipline when everything screams for panic. If the wound worsens, reality hits without anesthesia. Tissue darkens, odor changes, fever rises. At that point, choices become brutal. The world is over, but the body still obeys ancient rules. Ignoring signs doesn't change outcomes. Accepting limits is the last rational act before collapse. Days pass and the wound becomes part of daily life, a constant reminder that you should already be dead. The body tries to heal while the world tries to finish the job. Scabs form, fragile and temporary. Every impact, every fall, every mistake threatens to reopen everything. Survival now is continuous maintenance. There is no final victory, only conscious delay of the end. Healing consumes massive energy. Protein, water, and rest become essential fuel. Without them, the body reprioritizes and the wound loses. Muscles weaken, immunity drops, and recovery becomes fiction. Eating poorly now is like repairing an engine without oil. The breakdown happens quietly before everything stops. Regeneration science is slow and unforgiving. Cells multiply, vessels reorganize, fibers align. Any infection interrupts this process like an internal saboteur. The world may be rubble, but your body still follows strict protocols. Disrupt them and the wound never closes. An open wound is a permanent invitation to death. The environment remains hostile. Dust, moisture, and constant contact undo weeks of progress in minutes. Protecting the wound becomes obsessive habit. Not out of fear, but statistics. Most people die later, not during. They die when they think it's over. The apocalypse loves that kind of silent arrogance. The mind starts accepting the new normal. Constant pain, ugly scars, limited movement. Acceptance becomes survival. Pushing limits too early reopens everything. The body doesn't negotiate timelines, it demands respect. Those who ignore it become quiet warnings buried somewhere nobody visits. Danger never fully disappears. A simple fall, a late infection, an ignored fever, and it ends fast. The world offers no redemption, only temporary continuation. Surviving a serious wound is carrying biological debt. It gets collected the moment you relax. In the end, treating a wound after the world ends isn't about heroic life-saving. It's about avoiding stupid mistakes while the body performs miracles. Those who understand this keep walking. Those who underestimate it become part of the scenery. In the apocalypse, the line between living and dying is rarely courage. It's applied knowledge under pressure.